What's crack-a-lackin', everybody? We're back with another episode of the Sitting Ducks podcast. Now, some big things have changed. We apologize for not having any videos out last week. A lot going on. Cyborg moved into his new place, which is why you got a new setup. It's a work in progress. It will get better over time.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Out of focus.
Jesus.
And to be honest, I've had like I don't want to say a lack of motive. I've had a distraction in my life. We'll say that. I've had a distraction in my life, keeping my mind occupied, and then we really didn't have anything to talk about, and we didn't want to put out a half-assed episode. So we took the week off to kind of, I don't know, take a break, unwind, let Cyborg get in. It's 4th of July too. Yeah. So a busy week for me.
Did you do anything fun for
Oh yeah, man. Worked at Walmart.
Oh,
My life. Fucking busy as hell. But no, I didn't do anything for 4th. We do have some big changes coming to the channel. I guess the first thing we should go over is Triston will no longer be with us. Triston has decided that he no longer wants to be a part of the podcast or the channel in general. He just has a lot going on in life that he feels he can't. Yeah. He feels like he just cannot put the time in anymore. So Triston will no longer be with us. It'll just be me and Cyborg for now, and then obviously special guest whenever. Yeah. Not to say Triston won't be back at some point, but for now it's just me and Cyborg, and Triston's gone. We kicked him out. We bet nah.
You know. Hashtag fuck Triston too far.
Hashtag fuck Triston, dude. Fuck. He still hasn't told me happy birthday, by the way. Let me throw that out there.
Oh, you really gotta get that hashtag.
Let's see what else. This will most likely be the last week that we will be known as the Sitting Ducks.
Yeah.
We are making a Jurassic change.
A Jurassic Park change?
A Jurassic Park change to the channel. We're not going to go over the name and everything just yet. I want it to be kind of like a surprise. Got a cool idea planned. But, we just looked at like analytics and things like that. And look, I love the Sitting Ducks. I love our logo. I love all the thought that went behind it, the process of building it. The name's incredible. It just doesn't work well for what we're doing, right? Like, nobody who's looking for a gaming podcast would ever search the Sitting Ducks. Yeah. Okay? And part of that's, we just need a market. But the biggest thing is, if you go to YouTube right now and you search the Sitting Ducks, we are nowhere near the first page at all.
We're not even on the page.
No. Like, we're multiple pages deep. So we came up with a new name that I really fucking dig, and that me and Cyborg were shocked wasn't taken. It goes hand in hand with what we do here, and I am working on a total rebrand for the channel. So
he's doing the legwork.
Yeah, so the social medias have already been changed name wise. I just got to put together the graphics and everything, and it'll be a new face. So
same old ugly faces here, but
yeah,
new face.
Still me and Cyborg, but it'll be a new face for the podcast, new face for the channel, and some exciting new content.
I'll tell you though, we got a good 13 podcasts out of the
14.
Sitting Ducks.
14.
14.
So big 15 will be a new start for us. I'm excited.
Start.
Which really doesn't affect anything, just if you're subscribed to us and all of a sudden you see
that you're subscribed to something else.
Yeah, it's us We won't be like deleting any of the old videos or anything like that. They will still be on this channel where you can find them. It'll just be from after this point, assuming everything goes right and according to plan. The channel's just getting a little bit of a facelift. Overall,
bit of a facelift.
The name's gonna sound fucking dope, and I hope y'all like it. It sounds so professional. I love it, man. I love it. I love the name. I love everything. I'm excited.
Yeah, it should be good.
I've already started working on some things. Man, I'm excited for the future after this.
Those in a Discord message to me.
I have nothing to show yet, but
Oh, come on.
but I have started the process. With that being said, this week is going to be a bit of a chill week. Not a whole lot of gaming news so far that I've seen. I have seen, so we're recording this Wednesday, July 10th.
10th. Yep.
This will go live obviously Friday, July 12th. Because podcasts go live every Friday, 12 p.m. noon. Cyborg's Outlast playthrough, finally got around to editing that and uploading it. It will be completely finished by the time this podcast goes live. So tomorrow, which will be Thursday, July 11th, episode 4, the finale will go live.
It's so cringy watching myself get so scared.
It is.
Oh man,
it is so aggravating watching them play through, and we'll get into this a little later. It is so aggravating watching them play through this for a couple of reasons.
I'm not good at the game by any means.
No.
I just freak out. Like,
I lost my train of thought. Fuck. We were going down a road, and then
talking about Outlast.
So Outlast is going live. The podcast will be live this Thursday. Damn, what was I gonna say? Anyways, we got new and exciting content on the way to you guys. There's a lot of playthroughs that we want to do. There's some series we have in the works. And honestly, this isn't a knock to Triston in any way, but with it just being me, Cyborg, it's a bit easier now to get more content out. Just because it's one less schedule to have to work in and figure out and everything. But as I was saying, this week's gonna be a bit of a chill week for the podcast. We're just gonna go over the Steam Summer Sale. I picked up a whole lot of new games that I kind of want to talk over, get my opinions on. And then I know Cyborg picked up a couple new games. We want to talk about our playthroughs, really give an in-depth idea of that. Talk about some content we have coming up, get y'all's opinion on that, and that is essentially it. I will, before we get into anything, there's some gaming news. Tomorrow, July 11th, Thursday, we will get multiplayer footage of the next Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, I've been seeing it on Twitter. A bunch of YouTubers been tweeting out that that they're gonna get a chance to play it, upload it, record it. So tomorrow we'll get multiplayer. Are you good? We'll get some multiplayer footage that I'm sure we'll dive deep into on next week's podcast. But that's really the only news.
Yeah, that's exciting. That's good.
Yeah, no, I cannot fucking wait.
Dude.
With that being said, I guess we'll start off with Layers of Fear 2, since there's not a whole lot to go over there. So, if y'all don't know, June was supposed to be the month of horrors, where I would play through Layers of Fear 2, which I've already played through. It's fully uploaded on the channel, ready for y'all to go check it out. Cyborg played through Outlast,
which by the time this comes out,
will also be finished, fully uploaded. And then Triston was going to play through Soma. Obviously, that's not going to happen anymore. But anyways, Layers of Fear 2. I kind of went over this on the solo podcast that I did. I thought it was a great game. I really enjoyed it. Now, if we're talking as far as horror games, so June was supposed to be the month of horrors. Obviously, I slacked off and took 10 months to get the Outlast edited and uploaded and everything. But
I'll take some credit for that too.
But Layers of Fear 2 was, I really enjoyed playing through it, but it wasn't really a horror game to me. Like, it started off scary, but once you get adjusted in that environment and you know, like, all right, there's nothing trying to kill me, really. I mean, there was like a few things, right? But for the most part, there's nothing trying to kill you. There's no real enemy. It's just kind of environmental fear. It lost its horror very quickly, and then it just, towards the end, it just became go.
It was still interesting though. Like,
oh yeah, no.
Like,
yeah, no. That's what I was gonna say. Like towards the end, towards like the middle to the end, it was all about, I just wanted to beat it to figure out what the fuck was going on. And then I beat it, and I still had no idea what the fuck was going on. It's such a wild, outlandish game.
Whoa.
But I am happy I played through it. I really
It was really weird. These, like, it was almost like, I don't know. I felt like there was a couple points where it was like you were drawn out, and and it just kind of lost me a couple points, like where it got really confusing as to what the story was. But then, like you said, towards the middle and the end, you were like, oh shit, I'm trying to put it all together. Like with the slides that you get for your act, and you know, the music that you turn and listen to, or the recordings, you know. So I mean, it really kept you interested. But I was like,
the ending. So for those of you that don't know, Layers of Fear 2, I believe, had 3 endings. I got the weirdest fucking one with the alien chick. No fucking clue. So I did what any person did. I went on YouTube, pulled up a video, and together we watched all of the endings. And don't worry, I gave credits to the original uploader. But yeah, man, it's such a weird game. Such a weird game. It lost its horror pretty quickly. Well, I don't want to say pretty quickly. I would say by maybe the 2nd episode. I can't remember how many episodes it was. 5, 6 maybe. I kind of lost all the horror aspects, and it just became like a playthrough. I was like interested on what's happening, and intriguing game, definitely worth the playthrough. If nothing else, I'd recommend watching somebody play through it.
Yeah, like a full playthrough as well.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'd classify it as a horror game. I know in your playthrough, you mentioned every chance you got that you drew the shorter end of the stick on this one, and I could not agree more. So, for those of you that don't know,
I hate you like 30 to 40 times in that video.
I have a fun video I'm about to make. It's gonna be a surprise for you.
God.
Cause y'all took a jab at me, so I'm taking one back. It's gonna be a fun video. So Cyborg, like I said, played through Outlast, and I've been telling Cyborg about Outlast forever. And what's unique about this playthrough with Cyborg is his first horror game he's ever played through. Which Outlast is a pretty extreme horror game to play through on your first one.
You fucking threw me into the pits.
And he's never watched gameplay or anything on it, so he was going in completely blind. Yeah. And anybody who knows me,
you can tell too.
yeah. And anybody who knows me and's talked to me knows I hold Outlast very highly. I think it is one of, if not the best horror game of all time. The environment that it creates, the atmosphere that Outlast creates, is unlike any other game. It is incredible. The game itself isn't all that scary. It's the fucking environment that it makes, and it keeps you on edge. Because there's so many different characters in that game, and not every character in the game wants to kill you. So just when you start to kind of ease and relax, and you're like, oh, this looks like a normal fucking psycho, he tries to kill you. there's just always something that it doesn't feel.
I like would run. I was like, and then I'm like, oh shit, okay, this is just a friendly evil person. Like,
so I gotta say, so this was also your first time recording something solo for a playthrough.
Yeah.
How was that?
That was interesting. I mean, I tried my best to stay interacting, but there was multiple points where you could just see me like.
Harder than you thought, huh?
It was a lot harder than I thought.
People don't get that, like.
Yeah.
Like you know, I talk to people and they're like, oh, you know, I can make a video and do a podcast. I think me and Cyborg were talking about doing a podcast where you were like, dude, holy shit, you did over an hour by yourself. It's like, it is a lot harder than you think to just sit here and talk to yourself for long periods of time and try to stay entertaining, especially when you're playing a game, because you get in the moment. You just get, especially a game like Outlast where you're just focused and you get zoned in. But nah, dude, I thought you did a great job. I will say, super aggravating watching it because, and I don't blame you at all for this, because I understand fully that Outlast is a horrible.
If I played that game again, it would be different. But for the first time, at a couple points, I was like, where the fuck is the way out of this?
Well, you can see, like, just watching like your playthrough and like my first playthrough of the game, like we took it too tough. Like, for most games I played through it relatively slow. Like, I try to take everything in. You fucking hauled ass through. When you told me it was only 4 episodes, I was like, what the fuck? It took you 4 hours.
Speed ran that.
Yeah. He runs through stuff. So there's a lot that Cyborg missed out on. There's a lot that that you didn't pick up on while doing the playthrough. Like, I remember at the very end, there's going to be spoilers in this, guys. Outlast has been out 10 years. If you haven't played it, whatever. So at the end, you know, you become the host and you open the door and you do like this sigh of relief because you see the military and you're like, oh, thank God. And then they gun you down and you're just like blown away in disbelief. You're like, what? But before they open the door, you're like, I hope the twins don't kill me. Even though you find out they're your fucking friends, dude. Yeah. Well, they're not really your friends. They work for the priest and they're there to protect you and
I just hate those fucking twins.
All in all, though.
Yeah, and then they shoot you, and then you figure it's like, oh my god.
Well, it leaves it on a bit of a cliffhanger. They shoot you. The being Billy leaves your body and fucks everybody up, and you don't know what happens, right? Which is why you need to play the DLC. You know what's cool about the DLC? Is you play as the whistleblower. You play as a scientist who is there when all this shit first goes down. You're like, dude, this is fucked up. What's happening here? So you send an email to Miles Austin, the reporter that you play as in the original.
In the first one,
yeah, but they catch you, and it's much shorter. I think it's only like 2.5 hours, but it takes place during the same time you're playing. So like at the end where they kind of catch where the priest catches on fire, like while you're playing through as the whistleblower, there's a part in the game where you're running through a window and you look out and you see the church on fire. And you're like, oh,
shit, that's the same time frame.
Yeah, so like there'll be times where you kind of, but it'll wrap everything up at the end.
Yeah.
And dude, I don't
know, man.
It's dude, it is worth it. But now that you finished it,
channel Cyborg's Horror Emporium or something. So I'm just fucking. I don't know if I could do that again.
But now that you finished it, what is like your final thoughts on it?
Oh man, great fucking game. I don't know. I've never played, like, obviously being my first horror game. I've never played. And I've never really been into it as much, but I've never played a game where you don't, like, it's just your camera, your view, you know, like there's no interaction, which there is, like you pick up the batteries, you open the doors, and all that stuff, but there's no, like, you know, weapons.
Sorry, I'm sure that was really loud.
healing and all this
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
You know, it's literally, it's like a maze. But see, I think the worst part for me is I've never played a horror game, so like that confused feeling that catches everyone, it like really caught me. So I'm just like, where the fuck do I like? You see me multiple points, just like,
yeah, but
looking around.
I think this goes to show how good Outlast is.
Yeah.
Because even when I played through it the first time, and how good their level design is, because a lot of times you just panic and run, and some fucking and there's different hallways. Somehow you always find your way.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
More times than not, it's the first time too. It's just like the level design. Yeah. It's fucking incredible. The atmosphere. That's like the biggest thing for me. Is like Outlast has an incredible atmosphere, and like if you go through it slow and you take time to like interact. I say interact. You really can't interact with anybody.
No, but if you,
but like,
you know, there's like the notes and the filming and like what you see, like it tells that whole story. Because I figured out on like maybe it was at the end of the second or that I was like missing a lot of things because I wasn't holding my video camera up all the time, like when it was in the lighted areas. And then I realized it when I got a note, and I was like, oh my god, the whole time I don't even know what I missed. You know, I have to go back and play it again. But it's crazy.
It is a phenomenal game.
Now the story also is what, like, I mean, 15, 20, 30 minutes into it, I really started getting wrapped into the story. Like, once the priest is there, that's when I'm just like, wait a minute, like, there's a lot more going on here. He's telling me I've been sent here, and he like gives you your camera back. It's just fucking crazy.
Well, they do a great job of, for one, Outlast 1 never felt repetitive. Like, they do a great job of switching up enemy types, so you're never like constantly running into the same guy.
Yeah.
It never feels just drawn out where it's like, okay. Like Outlast 2. Outlast still a great game, but it's nowhere near as good as Outlast 1 environment wise. A lot of the times where, like we were saying, where like Outlast 1 you get spooked and you just run. Outlast 2 is like that, but you run and you die, and it's just like, it's like a what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a you run, you die, you're like, okay, you spawn back in, you do it again, same thing, do it again, and then finally you find your way. And then towards the end it gets very repetitive. It builds up like these characters, like Outlast 1 does, where you have like the twins, you have the priest, you have Chris Walker, the big fat dude, little piggy.
Yeah, piggy.
But then they die very anticlimactic in Outlast 2 versus Outlast 1. I felt like they all had a good ending. And I know like Billy, the main guy that really caused everything, like in the main game you really don't get to experience him until the very end.
Yeah.
But if you play the whistleblower, he's a much bigger role. Like I said, the whistleblower is great. It's shorter and it wraps everything out. If you don't want to play it, at least watch somebody play it so you get it.
I'll try it. I'll give it a shot.
But yeah, what Outlast does best, man, is just the fucking environment.
Dude, one of my favorite parts of that whole game was the fucking, like, how challenging it was playing against the fucking scissor guy, whatever his name is. Because like that was the first part that I really struggled with. Like, it doesn't show it like as bad when you're watching it on video, but like for a little bit there, I was just like, where the fuck do I go? I was like running back and forth in between two rooms because he just had me trapped until I realized it was, you know, you had to like push barriers or you know, out from under or in front of the doors and stuff. But that ending to that battle with him getting crushed in the elevator was so satisfying. Like, so fucking satisfying. It was such a great way to, like, you know, because I like I said, first horror game, so I haven't had like a game that, you know, like gives you this real big climactic point and then reels you back in, you know, with like a sigh of relief. Then it just fucks your shit up again. Like, it's just these waves of just like, oh shit, you know. And it was very satisfying to see that motherfucker die.
Just the character development in there. in the game. That's what makes it so. Like most horror games, and I'm talking about indie horror, not really, because that's what Outlast was. It was an indie horror game. It came out, nobody really knew about it, and it blew everybody's pants off, right? So most indie horror games, Amnesia, Slenderman, SCP, all these ones, you have a main enemy, and that's it. And then you have like the world you're in, and you have to do things, right? There's no fluff. There's no other characters in the game like there is with Outlast. Like Outlast feels like a living, breathing world that you're a part of. Yeah, like it feels so fucking real, and they did such a phenomenal job on character development, on building the atmosphere, on map design. Everything just feels so fucking great.
Yeah.
That like, all in all, I would say the game's not really that scary. It's just the way like it brings you in that makes it like so.
It's pretty fucking scary.
It is pretty fucking scary. But like, dude, it's just it's scary in all the right reasons. It's not like I would say Layers of Fear was scary for the wrong reasons. Like, it was a bunch of jump scares. The monsters weren't scary. It was just a bunch of like cheap jumps. Like, someone pop out and be really loud and you'd be like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
Outlast is scary for all the right reasons. The jump scares they don't feel forced. No, it's not like...
And they're like a part of your... Like... Yeah. They really... It's not even that bad. Like, with that first one, that, you know, after I uploaded that footage, you were like, so how'd you do with that first one? And I mean, it really...
That first one's like the worst jump scare in the game.
Because like you have just learned your surroundings, you know, and you're like literally feeling safe at that point. That's when that guy shuts the door, and you see him run in the hallway, and you're like, okay, I'm kind of like observing this, but I'm not in the thick of it yet. And then you open that door,
and that body falls, and it's just
like, oh. And then the guy throwing you off the balcony.
Then you met little piggy.
Yeah.
And that's when Outlast starts. And it
immediately you stand up and it goes, escape the asylum. Like, you bitch, you goddamn bitch. Like,
and nothing. I mean, obviously it's very out, but like nothing feels like over the top in that game. Nothing's like, okay, really, that's kind of, you know, like everything. Yeah. I don't know if I could say a bad thing about Outlast. Like, I fucking loved that game.
And you may have a different opinion because you've played other horror games, but like, I don't even know if I've ever seen another game quite like that with the story and the fucking whole entire like atmosphere in that map. Like, I haven't seen much like that.
See, the only thing I could compare it to, atmosphere wise, but even atmosphere wise, it's totally different, would be Dead Space. Dead Space would be the only other horror game that I would put it in the same kind of bubble. It would either be Dead Space or Outlast as my favorite horror game. I would pick Outlast personally, with Dead Space being a close second. But it's like, look at Resident Evil 7, which is again one of my favorite horror games. Yeah. Great environment. That one's a little different because, you know, you can attack and, you know, you fight back and all that, but the environment isn't the same. You have like the family and that's it. There's no real other. Outlast, you're constantly meeting new, unique characters. Each of them have their own personalities. Each of them have their own crazy kinks. Each of them, and you missed some of the great parts.
I know I did.
Like, you didn't catch the guy masturbating to dead people. You missed some of the.
Oh, I did miss that. The one that like jumps up and he's like, "Who invited you to the party?"
Yeah.
I knew I missed
something. There's just so many layers to Outlast that, like, if you really go in and just like, because let's see, I watched a playthrough on it way before it ever came to console. This was way before I ever had a PC or anything.
Right.
Watched a playthrough. Couple years went by. It came to Xbox. Bought it day one. Played through it. And by that time, I already forgot 90% of the game. So it was like playing through it fresh. And then I played through, DLC, and I played through it a couple other times. Watched people play through it. Still, and then obviously I've watched you play through it again, being that I edit everything. It is still, like, dude, I still love the environment. Like, dude, it is just such a fucking phenomenal experience. If y'all haven't played and or watched Outlast, y'all are missing out.
Go watch Outlast on our channel.
Yeah, on our channel. Watch Cyborg play through it.
And then go play it for yourself.
Yeah, because dude, I cannot say enough good things.
As far as like, reviewing the game and like giving my final opinion on it, and how I felt, I would totally recommend it to any and everybody. I mean,
there's a reason it's overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah, whether you're a huge horror game, fan, or never played one before. I mean, for me, trust me, there was moments that I was just like, I need to put this down. Like, I can't play.
The first episode shows that because it just randomly cuts.
Yeah.
To a different day.
I just need to cut this off. But it's definitely, whoa, what the fuck is going on? Alright, there we go. Jesus Christ. But it's definitely like worth it, even if you've never played a horror game. I wasn't expecting it to be that good. So I would 10 out of 10 that bitch. There's
a reason I have nothing but good things to say about it. And I mean, there's very few games that I can't come up with something negative about, and I don't know if I could come up. I think the negative thing for Outlast would be it's so short.
Short, yeah, I guess, but it's still.
But it is.
I don't even think it was that it was short, because I played the shortest end of it,
Yeah, like, yeah, because you kind of speed run.
Like you could really
play it. Well, it's like for most people, if you take your time, you really take everything in, it'll probably take you 5 to 6 hours. Yeah. And then obviously, it could change if you die a lot or whatever. But Cyborgs was like 4, man. He fucking ran through it.
It's because at multiple points, like when it's dark, like when I get outside, you just see me just start sprinting. And just like sprinting.
Dude, that's another thing that I love is that like the environment changes too so drastically.
So drastically. I did not know when I was walking through that front gate at the very beginning of episode 1 that was gonna be in the bottom underneath of the mountain. Like
oh yeah. The last episode when you went underneath, you're like, what the fuck is this shit?
Like, where did this even come from?
It is such, I mean, like I said, I can't say enough great things about it.
Yeah.
They did a phenomenal job. Even Outlast 2, I'd recommend playing through it. Just know it will not be Outlast 1. It has its own issues.
I would definitely go to Outlast 1.
But it still has an incredible, I would say Outlast 2 might be more scary. It's just the story isn't as good as Outlast 1. The enemies are more terrifying.
Yeah.
The plot.
You can play.
Oh, I've already played it.
Outlast 2.
I've already played it.
I'm not playing Outlast 2.
But Outlast 2 is like Layers of Fear.
Oh, is it?
2. Well, what I mean by that is like when you beat Outlast 2, you're like, that's it? Like what the fuck is happening?
What just happened?
It is super fucking, I can't even begin to explain. It is super fucking weird.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, so the way Outlast 2 starts, it's like a cult, right? And you're a news reporter, you're flying over in a helicopter in the middle of the night during a fucking rainstorm, because that's what you do.
Did you hear me talk about that shit multiple times? I'm like, oh, wolves. Yeah, wolves. That makes sense. Like, what the fuck?
So you're flying over this cult area. Something happens, the helicopter goes down, right? And that's how the game starts. But you got tipped off by this lady that was a part of this cult that left. Okay, so I was like, dude, they need to make a DLC where you play as this lady that was on the inside and her escape, and it would give us all the answers that we're looking for. No, they said no DLC for Outlast 2, so we're left with whatever the fuck's going on in that game. It's so fucking weird. But Outlast 1, phenomenal game. And it's the only game I know that the DLC and the main game go hand in hand. Dude, like, it is like
they directly apply
to each other. It's just wild that you're playing through the DLC and you're seeing things that transpired right in real time that happened during the main game. It's just crazy. I love it. Great game. Love it. I know we've been talking about Outlast for a while now, but
10 out of 10.
It deserves it.
10 out of 10.
I don't, like I said, I don't think I could say something bad about that game. It is just riot fucking.
Let's just say at episode 1, I was cussing you out. At the end of it, I was like, thank you, Brian.
You understood.
I got it. It.
I wouldn't put you on to a game that that I didn't think was phenomenal. Which is why I was trying to get Triston to play Soma. But, you know, it is what it is. Speaking of great games that I put you on to, let's get into the Steam Summer Sale. Yeah. So, there was this game called Refunked. I'm sure nobody in this podcast has ever heard of this game, and I don't blame you.
Highly doubtful.
This game was now, I love trying to find these obscure games that nobody's heard of. That have phenomenal reviews and maybe not many people played. And this was one of those games. So Refunked was 89 cents on the summer sale.
By the way, he's saying refunked, not refucked.
Oh, sorry. My Texas accent.
I'm just making sure everybody out there in the audience isn't Googling refucked. I don't see.
You're going to get a very different. So, let's see. Yeah, Refunked. Right now, its normal price is $3, but it was on sale for 89 cents.
Yeah.
It has overwhelmingly positive, 15,000 reviews, overwhelmingly positive. So I was like, 89 cents, I'm all in.
For overwhelming positive? Like,
yeah, for 15,000. So I bought it during the Steam Summer Sale, and it's like a first-person hardcore parkour game where you go through, I don't want to say different levels because it's the same level, but
like
every time you you go through different checkpoints. Every time you reach a checkpoint, these pillars pop up and you gotta like jump around. Yeah, more of the level appears and you jump around and you reach a button. You hit that button, more of the level keeps appearing until you beat the game. Super quick game to beat. It took me, I think, like 25 minutes to beat it 100%. There's not a whole lot to it. Again, 89 cents. Phenomenal game. Fucking love this game. It is Refunked. REFUNCT. Refunked. It is incredible. So, obviously, I played through this game. Fucking loved it. I beat it twice now. 100%ed it twice. And I was like, alright, Cyborg has to play this game. This is one of those games where Cyborg has to play. So, Cyborg picked it up, and he actually just beat it before we started this podcast.
Yeah. Dude, I was telling you this. I mean, it just like...
It is such a chill game,
dude. It leaves you super satisfied. Like, I mean, yeah, I know what you said with it being short and over so quickly, but like, I feel like that's a game that I could just be like...
I'm not saying like...
And completely just focus on this.
I'm not knocking it.
No.
I'm not knocking it for being that short. Again, it's 89 cents.
Yeah.
This game could have been 3 minutes long, and I would have been like, okay.
Any good game, you don't like being short, you know.
Exactly. That's what.
But it just, I don't know. It's just super satisfying. Like when
dude,
you get to that end, and it's just there, and you're like, okay, like that was what I needed to just.
It is such a chill. It has like phenomenal graphics for what it is. It is super like just calm,
When was it
chill. It
when
makes.
was it made?
I don't know.
I didn't
Just
look.
came out 2015, October 16th, 2015. So it's been out a while.
Yeah, it's like 4 years almost.
Yeah, and it is incredible. I wish that man, I wish they would come out with updates of like different expanding things. Cause I even took the time to swim all the way out to all them far pillars, seeing it. Yeah. Seeing, and there's not anything, unfortunately. But the game is in it. It is such a, like a chill. It's like the right blend of making you think.
The music too. Like the music was very just like mellow.
Mellow, yeah.
It kept,
just
but it kept
laid
you
back.
like into the game. You're like,
So, and it times you when you play through it. So it times you, so like you could do like your own high score or whatever to 100% it. Once you beat it, there's not really anything to do unless you just wanted to go in there and fuck around. But I mean, it is such a fun game to just like relax, unwind. Like if you just want to play some music in the background and just fucking go ham with your hardcore parkour, this is game for you. Refunked, I would even say $3. It's fucking worth it. I would buy it at full price, 100%. With that being said, much better. 89 cents. Go into it blind. Don't watch any gameplay on it. It is worth it. I am putting the Pitbullkid brand on it. And I look for games like these. I'm a little mad at Cyborg because there's another game that I picked up a couple sales ago called The Story About My Uncle, or The Story of My Uncle, and it's a game similar to that where it's like a hardcore parkour, but you get like different abilities and stuff. It's a longer game. It's like 7 or so hours, and it again, great like interesting story, great voice acting, great level design, super fun game. Love it. And that's another one of these type of hidden gems, you could say, where nobody really heard of it, nobody really knows, doesn't get the time of day.
2014.
The Story of My Uncle?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
2014, dude.
That's a long time.
It's just how have I never heard of this before? Like, you know.
Well, and that's what I try to look for in these summer sales. Game, like obviously, you know, I want all the big name titles and things like that, but like I've been trying, like I try to find these games that are a little bit more obscure that nobody's heard of. But yeah, Refunked, phenomenal game that I put Cyborg onto. Now, I haven't actually talked to Cyborg about this, so I'm gonna do it right now, live on the podcast. We should do indie games this month, where I play through an indie game and you play through it. Cause Cyborg, you also have Inside.
Oh, yeah, Inside. I forgot.
And Inside is a game, for one, it's not a horror game, so there's that. But it is a game that, like, the atmosphere is phenomenal, especially for a 2D platform. The atmosphere is phenomenal, and you will. I'm telling you, bro, you're gonna fucking love it.
Yeah.
It'll be.
I'm excited now.
You're gonna fucking love it. I want you to record and do a playthrough once we do this whole rebrand and everything. I'm telling, phenomenal game. You're gonna fucking love it. And I'm excited for you to play through it because that's one of my favorite games of all time as well. Man.
Yeah, you've talked it up pretty
much.
Dude,
I fucking. It's so nice because I know, dude. When I tell y'all my gaming library of fucking knowledge in this dome right here is so vast, it makes me so excited to put Cyborg onto all these games. So I picked up. I'm gonna kind of go through the list of games that I picked up. None of these games, with the exception of a few, have I put a lot of time in. So this is just my initial impression. It's gonna take me a while to play through all these games. I picked up like 20. I spent like $200 this summer, so picked up a lot. So I'm just gonna run through the list real quick. I picked up, well, I didn't pick up Terraria, but I know Cyborg did.
It was.
I've had it for a while now. Haven't really played it that much because, I used to play it in college, believe it or not, like in class.
Oh yeah.
It's not a big game to run. I could play it on my laptop, whatever. Fun ass game. It throws you in, and it doesn't give you any direction, which I don't got a problem with. But it's just gonna be a steep learning curve. And me and Cyborg played it for a couple hours first night that we got it, or that Cyborg picked it up. Ton of fun. I want to put a lot more time into it. I had a blast. We kept dying.
We'll have to figure out how to get past that first level of, building.
Yeah.
And,
well,
getting your shit together.
Yeah, because it took us like 3 nights to figure out how to put walls.
Walls.
Yeah, it was bad.
It's a little bit of a learning curve, but it's been a lot of fun. Like, it's really cool. I like the, diving underneath dungeon style and going down. Yeah, no, I
love the game. I don't want to say love it. I only have like 7 hours in it.
I thoroughly enjoyed playing the game.
Yeah, I did enjoy playing it, even though we were getting shit on for most of it. But I feel like if I just read up a little bit on it, just get a little bit more guidance, it will be rocking and rolling. We'll be good to go. So if y'all want to see a series on that, let us know. I feel like that'll be kind of a harder one to do, just the nature of the game. So Cyborg picked that up. I've had that for a little while now. I picked up Hellblade, Sona's Sacrifice. Haven't played it yet. I haven't even downloaded it yet. So not a whole lot I can comment on there. The game looks fucking incredible. If Cyborg wants to go through with this indie game series, that might be one that I can play through. Y'all can let me know.
Yeah.
Because that'll be the hard part of me trying to find the indie game to play through. Next up, I got Ori and the Blind Forest. Now, I talked about this on the solo podcast. And I know Cyborg talked on it with the E3 podcast with him and Triston. The new one looked incredible that they're coming out with. I love the art style of it. So I was like, man, this is one of those games that I need to fucking pick up. Just because I want to play through it, man. It looks so fucking good. And I played through about an hour and a half. Which isn't much at all, but it is so much fun, dude. I've really grown to love these like 2D side scroller style games, man.
Yeah.
Like, as I go through, you'll see I bought so fucking many of them.
Many of them? Oh, yeah.
Dude, I just love these 2D side scrolling style games, and I love the art style with this game. I thought it's fucking phenomenal. It starts off so sad and just tugs at my heart. Made me want to cry. Phenomenal game so far. I need to play through it more. Cyborg knows this, and I know it bugs people, because I always tell people, hey bro, pick up this game, pick up this game, pick up this game. You pick it up, we'll play it for a day or two, and then I'm on to the next fucking game. I have way too many games that like I never finish games,
or never even fully experience what is there,
There's so many games I own that I have never even played because of other games. And then there's games that I play and I fucking love, and that I just never beat or finish. And people are like, Brian, how do you love that game and never beat or play? Because there's other games, fuckers. Like Red Dead Redemption.
There's other fucking games.
Like the new Red Dead.
Yeah.
A phenomenal game. One of my favorite games of all time. Played maybe 5 hours of it, okay? Other games. Okay, that's just how I am. But Ori, the Blind Forest will be a game that I beat. Just might take me a while. I picked up a game called Swarm Lake. It's made by the same guy that made Refunked.
Oh, really?
This game is the complete opposite of Refunked. Refunked's soothing, laid back. This game is fucking chaos. It's literally like a polygon, like wave bait. It's not even wave based. It's just a survival game, and enemies just keep coming, and it's just chaos. There's shapes, colors flying everywhere. It's fucking crazy, man. But I picked it up. I was like, dude, it's made by the same guy. I will buy any game this guy comes out with. Yeah. So it's fucking weird. Didn't play it very much. It's fucking chaos. Moving on from there, I picked up Outward, which again, wanted my buddy to pick it up, but whatever.
That'll be another one I get too.
Yeah. So Outward is a MMO, kind of MMORPG style game. Well, I wouldn't call it MMO. It's not really massive multiplayer online, but it's an RPG. I only played about 30 minutes of it, just enough to get through the opening scene. Seems fun. It looked, the graphics seemed pretty good. It ran buttery smooth. But like I said, I didn't experience enough of it. I'm excited to play through it. I really want an RPG that I can sink my teeth into, and it's multiplayer, which is great. Now, the game that surprised me the most, I think. Let me look at the games I got. Yeah, the game that surprised me the most is called Dead Cells. It's another one of these 2D side-scroller games. This is a game that I've been keeping my eye on for a while, and I just never pulled the trigger because of the style of game, and I thought I would never like it, or I thought I would like it a little bit, but it'd be one of those games that I played it for a little bit and never touched it again. I love the art style of this game. Fucking love the art style of this game. Again, Dead Cells. But it was just one. It was like 20 something bucks, so it's a little expensive. Yeah, I mean, it's a
positive at 26,000.
Yes, it is worth every bit. Okay, wow. So it's a 2D side-scroller dungeon type game. So you spawn in the same spot every time you play, which is like these prison cells. You spawn with the starting sword, and then you can pick a starting bow or a starting shield. And as you play through the game, you can like upgrade and get different perks that allow you to switch those out randomly. But you always start with those 3 items, and you play through as far as you can go. And it's a random, as far as I know, it's randomly generated, and you go through these dungeons. And if you die, you start all the way back at the cell. So it's not like there's no real progression. Well, like you unlock perks and you unlock different blueprints that you can. So when you kill things, you get cells, and these cells are like points that you can put into. Every time you complete a dungeon level, you go to like this little room that you talk to these merchants, and that's where you upgrade your character. You spend these cells to upgrade your character, and then you keep going. And that's the only thing that stays constant, are these cells that you spend on the shop. And that's where you can buy perks where like you can randomly switch out your starting sword, so you don't have this shitty sword. And the game is fucking incredible, dude. I have 10 hours in it. This is the game I played the most. It is so much fucking fun. Like, I will literally mute the whole game and just turn on a podcast and just fucking play through this. It's challenging. I fucking suck dick at it. It's like, dude, it is so much fucking fun. Another one of these games I cannot say enough good things about. And I didn't think I was gonna like it. Like, once I heard like every time you die you start back at square one, because it instantly reminded me of like Dark Souls. And Dark Souls is one of those games that it's a fucking incredible game, but it infuriates me. This is not one of those games. This game is not there to beat you while it's down. It's set up in a very fair, honest way, and it's just like your character and how far you can get, and you gotta upgrade it. Phenomenal game. Great game. My favorite pick so far. I fucking love it, dude. And the art, dude, the art style is what drew me in. I love the fucking art style. You know, I do all the graphic design for the channel and everything, so things like art styles and things like that really capture.
I feel like the videos of it don't even give it justice. Like, do it justice.
No.
It looks like.
Dude, it is so much fucking fun. Next up, A Plague Tale: Innocence. This game, I only played 30 minutes of, and that 30 minutes blew my fucking mind. The reason I actually turned it off because a glitch happened and I died, and I was like, okay, moving on to the next game. I had no idea that this game was so gorgeous, so fucking like such high tier voice acting and everything. Like as soon as I loaded it up, I was like, holy shit. The story instantly draws you in, and it's
crazy.
Within like the first like 10 minutes something crazy happens. You're like, oh shit. And then like it's one of those games where you gotta sneak around, and I was like, fuck. So it's kind of like Outlast. You gotta like sneak around. There's no like fighting really.
Whipping out a fucking medieval sword and fighting off horses.
I was hoping it was, because you start off like with the sling doing shit, and I was like, bro, it's medieval. I didn't know it was set in like medieval times. I thought it was like I don't know, I thought it was like during the Black Plague era with muskets and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
No, it is set fucking medieval. I love it. It is so great, dude. It all, like I said, 30 minutes in, draws on my heartstrings. That's a game 100% beating. Just like I said, I haven't had the time. Been all over the place with work, and then I have fucking 30 games I've been trying to download and play, so we had something to talk about. Next up, I picked up Hollow Knight. Again, another 2D platform side scroller dungeon fighter style game. This game's fucking weird, let me tell you. I heard about this game, Hollow Knight. Knight is in like a yeah. So I actually heard about this game on the Nate Shot and Courage podcast, where Courage was talking about it, and I've seen this game around. Never interests me at all. I heard Courage mention though that this game was over 60 hours of content. That interests me for whatever reason. The game itself doesn't interest me. The 60 hours. Yeah. So that interests me. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna pick it up. Picked it up, played through. Let's see. I currently have it uninstalled. It's not because the game sucks. I ran out of space on my computer. I played it for an hour. Super weird game. Super.
A little tricky almost.
It's almost. It almost reminds me of like Mario, man.
Yeah.
Like and it's a dungeon, but there's different paths you can take. So what I played right now is like there's different paths you can take.
Yeah.
But normally in these type of games, like there's different paths. You go to the end, you reach it, and then you go back and you go the other way. This game doesn't seem to be that way. It's like you pick a path and that's the way you're fucking going, which is fucking crazy to me. Again, I've only played an hour, so I don't know a whole lot about the game. This is a game that I will never beat. I'm telling you that right now. 60 fucking hours, not a chance, unless it just blows my mind. But so far it's fun. It's challenging. The combat's interesting. I've died like 200 times.
Oh,
it is a blast.
I'm like, oh,
it is challenging, and I would love to play through it, but 60 hours, man, that's crazy.
wow.
Yeah, no, it is insane, but it is a fun fucking game, and I'm happy I picked it up and added it to the collection. Next up, Stardew Valley. Now, again, another game. The only reason I picked it up was to play with Cyborg. Now this is a game that I've known about forever. Okay, the art style in this type of like over the top, like Pokemon-esque, I do not like. Okay, I will say that. Like, I do not like these style games. Art style wise, you know, graphics aren't everything in a game, but like for whatever reason, these type of games and any anime-esque type games turn me off, and I just never play them. Period. Like the Final Fantasy style, where like people are like, the anime will not play it, right? This game though, dude, I've heard nothing but good things about. You go to the Steam page, over 100,000 reviews, overwhelmingly positive. Overwhelmingly positive. It was $5. I was like, dude, I'm putting my opinions about the art style aside. I'm picking this game up. I'm gonna play it with my best bud here, and we're gonna see what this is all about. Again, Cyborg didn't pick it up, so I have not downloaded it, but nonetheless, I bought it.
We'll get there. Okay?
I bought it. One day this will be installed on my computer and we can play it. But I mean, dude, if a game has over 100,000 reviews and they're all overwhelmingly positive,
insane that it has that many.
I have to put my preconceived notions aside and try it out for myself. Next up is a game that Cyborg actually did buy, and we played through quite a couple hours of. It's Astroneer. We played roughly 2 hours of it, man. And I fucking loved it, dude. I thought it was so much fun. It's weird in
I like
the art style. Again,
as
I've mentioned art style 2,000 times in this, but the art, I love the art style.
Yeah.
I love
the complexity of it though too. Like
I feel like it's a
not
nice
as bad as
space engineer. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like a happy
kinda
medium.
Scaled down, but it's not so raw that you're like this game doesn't keep me interested.
Yeah.
But with all the things that you build and make, and you can put a base up and you discover shit all over, it definitely keeps you wrapped in.
It's weird because me and you both were smart about this and played through the tutorial. But the tutorial still leaves a lot unanswered. So it throws you in this world.
Anything past like the basic
the very basics. So we spawned into this world that looks completely fucking different than the world that you do the tutorial on. So already we're fucked. So we spawn in this world. The game gives you no sense of direction. And I always like to think of games like the survival, and I compare it to Minecraft. But Minecraft's a different animal because the whole point of Minecraft is building.
Yeah, let's say.
This game,
the whole point is no sense of direction.
This game, so we had to figure out how to get supplies that we could make our oxygen. Tether lines. But the problem is there was none of these materials near the fucking ship. So we would have to run and be like, all right, now we got to run back and hopefully we make it there before oxygen. So it was a ton of fun. My only concern, and I know I talked to Cyborg about this, is...
Yeah, this was my only concern too. After thinking about it, I was writing it down.
Is I don't know how much replayability the game has, because there's no... And again, we're on the first map. We haven't even explored it that much. So we could be wrong. But as far as me and Cyborg can tell, there's no... For one, there doesn't seem to be like any building, really. Like, it's just you place down preconceived structures. Right. And that's it. It's not like you're building like this badass base or house.
Customizable.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. But there doesn't seem to be any enemy types. The enemy seems to be the planet you're on, and you just have to figure out how to survive.
It seems to be oxygen and materials.
Yeah.
And just not falling off cliffs.
Which I did a lot of. Which I feel like only can take this game so far. I feel like that's what's gonna hold it back the most, from my point of view.
Yeah.
What the fuck is
in your house?
Shit, I hope not, bro. I will fucking...
I will scrap up.
But I feel like that's what's gonna hold it back the most from my point of view, is
I think it'll get to the point where we kind of explore the next tier of things, but we're not, I don't know, it's not going to keep us into the point where we want to build these massive structures like you would in Minecraft. Minecraft, like you said, is that building, like just making this insane structure, but I don't think that's really a possibility with this game. Maybe down the road, I don't know. It's still pretty fresh, isn't it? But yeah, I don't know. I like this Stardew Valley. We'll have to see. I think you should probably let me know how you like it.
Dude, I don't know what's going on in this house. But yeah, but to me, that's always been like my biggest thing with survival games. Is the lack of I don't want to say like the lack of guidance, the lack of what's the word I'm looking for? The lack of
structure.
Nah, not structure. Like man, we were just talking about this, where it doesn't give you any direction. The lack of direction in a game.
Yeah.
Like it's great. Like I get like Astroneer. I get like okay, the idea is you just survive. But then it gets to a point where it's like I'm surviving for what? Like I'm playing the game just to survive. Like what's the like I get like Astroneer. You're supposed to
the building like they kind of do, but I mean it only goes so far. So at least what we've played on it, and it's not like you know buildings to protect yourself or you know weapons to shoot things with. Like it's usually just like, oh, I made a box.
Yeah.
Like I made a storage container. You know?
Which took us a while to figure out.
Yeah, 2 hours actually.
Again, we're only 2 hours in. We will play a lot more of this game because I had a fucking blast at 2 hours.
It looks beautiful. It plays beautiful. There's clearly a lot more to explore as well, and we haven't really done that yet. You know, we just like got the basics.
There's a ton of more planets and things like that we haven't even. So, with that being said, but like I was trying to say, there's a game called Stranded Deep that I love. It's another survival game that you spawn on an island. Beautiful fucking game. Beautifully optimized, amazing game. Wish it was co-op. I feel like your game would be infinitely better if it was multiplayer. But again, this is another one of these games where you're just surviving for the purpose of surviving. Like there's nothing to, for me, there's nothing to work towards. Like Minecraft, you're surviving, but like there's things you can unlock. But the building, Minecraft, the whole thing was building, like building these crazy structures, building.
And they clearly have a lot more, you know, to work with.
Yeah.
But it's like a raft. You just picked up on, you know, raft as well. And I mean, it's a fun game. Like it's a lot of fun. But you're also just surviving to survive. There's no, you know. But you know, the building here and there and the researching, whatnot. But I don't know. It's not quite like Rust survival.
No, so yeah, okay, we can get on raft. I picked up a raft also. Cyborg has had raft for a while. I've known about raft for a while. Never really, I don't know. I looked at it and I was like, okay, I think that'll be a game that I'll play once or twice, and it'd be like, I think I always thought of it'd be like 7 Days to Die.
Yeah.
Where I got it, played it a little bit, and I was like, okay, I'm pretty good.
It's one of those games, and we have a lot of these games. Some of them problems with like playing them as much as we should, but we have a lot of games that are just fun playing with other people. Like I wouldn't jump into Raft alone. Like I wouldn't jump into 7 Days to Die.
Well,
like you kind of have to have someone just make an experience, you know, learn all the stuff.
Well, I think Raft. I think 7 Days to Die is, we got into it way too late.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where it's like way past its prime per se, and it's just a different time. And I think Raft came out way too late. Where it's a fun game. Me and you played it a little over an hour.
Yeah, maybe.
But to me, and again, I only played an hour. Don't have an informed opinion on this. But dude, it just felt so fucking we played it for an hour and didn't get fucking anything done.
Yeah.
It took us an hour before we even got to our first island, which by the way wasn't a fucking island because you can't get on top of the fucking island.
There's I don't know what was at that one. had to be a way.
It just felt like, I don't know. It felt like we weren't progressing. Like, I felt like we were getting a bunch of materials to use those materials to rebuild the tools that we were using to get those materials.
Yeah. Well, we were at that little tipping point though.
Yeah.
Where like when me and Leifon, and the reason I picked that game up was Leifon and I were looking at it when it first came out or whatever. And we were like, we want to try this, So we finally, you know, both of us bought it together. And I'll tell you right now, I mean, as far as we've gotten in there, we're kind of at that tipping point where you and me are, where we have a lot of stuff and we have a couple things laid down, and we are, you know, you've learned the little tricks of just constantly keeping stuff running and going. So I think we'll move into that next phase, and that next phase is like you don't even do as much, you know, like you haven't even got to like dive under the water and stuff, and like the islands are a little more thought out than that, and there's
fall off the boat a couple times.
No,
got
you
8.
definitely did get in the water, but not for the purpose of finding shit.
No, I mean, I've seen in-game content on Wrapped, and it looks very enjoyable. But after like the hour we spent playing, in my mind, I just think it's gonna take me 20 hours to get to what I've seen on YouTube, and it's just like,
Me and Leifon got to like all upgraded shit, and like an anchor in the middle of the boat that you could pull back up, and birds' nests. Like we got there.
I think a game like Raft would be a cool idea to have like Rust.
Yeah.
Where you're just floating around an ocean, and there's land scattered around. You can't build on land. Land's just for resources. But you can fuck up other people's rafts. That would be so fucking dope, dude. Yeah. Anyways, Raft, need to play it more. Dude, I love survival games, man. I love them. However, I don't think I've ever played one that I put with the exception of Rust, that I put a bunch of time in. I think survival games are games I like to watch more than I like to play. Yeah. I think just for whatever reason I get burnt out of them very quickly. I think like Forest is a game that I can never play again, ever. And it lost a lot of the mystique. Once you watch it, you kind of know like the gig's up.
Yeah.
Like the whole building a base and all that. It's pointless. You don't need to do all that. It's just it's a single player experience. There's a story that you need to. But like Raft for me, it felt like, and again, you know, like for me, I wanted to build the raft up and do all this, but it's like it takes so fucking long, and it's like at the end, right when we stopped, we just got fucking fucked. We got birds coming in, sharks coming in, tools broke. It was like the perfect storm.
Yeah.
Well,
you didn't even go through like a crazy storm.
No.
Like, there was some rain and some shit in there, but like they have storm.
Oh, I believe it.
You're not even like, you're just sitting on the boat near the fire because you're so fucking disoriented.
Well, another thing about Raft that I should mention is I only have 2 fears in life. Like I would say, like maybe you call them phobias. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I'm not scared of heights or anything.
I'm
scared of I'm scared of the ocean, which is weird. So are they. They agree.
They're like, fuck the ocean.
Dude, I do. I do not know what's going on in this house right now. It is 12:30 at night, guys.
Your dogs are wide awake.
I'm gonna go check it out.
Oh man. Alright. Hopefully he comes back and...
Alright, sorry about that, guys. So Yeah, so survival games have always had like, I don't know, I think like games ruin other games, right? Like if you play a great game, it's hard. I feel like Minecraft, pinnacle of survival games for me, ruined.
Rust ruined a lot of games for me.
Yeah, like
it's just too adhering.
Like RuneScape ruined all the MMOs, and so that before I get into the rest of the games that I bought, I want to, while we're on the subject, I want to talk Cyborg into starting a Minecraft series on our channel, dude. I want to do a Minecraft series. I want to do something unique though. I don't want it to be like a basic bitch a basic bitch series. Like I think it'd be cool if we started a world where we're on the same world, but we live different lives. Like
total separate.
You take this land, I take this land. We build up our village, we trade with each other, but it's like two separate playthroughs, and they can watch how you play through it. A less experienced player, and then, we're both gonna be unexperienced. Minecraft has probably changed a fuck ton, and then they'll watch like
last
me.
Time I played it was 360.
Yeah, and then they'll watch me play through it, and like what I build, what you build, how we do everything. It'll be a good time. We'll have a server so we can hop on and off whenever we wanted to.
That'll be cool.
And it'd just be a fun thing we could do. I don't know.
I'm always down for Minecraft and little bit of competitiveness. I might outbuild you. You never know.
Oh, I do know. You won't. You won't.
You won't.
And this is something that I want to do this so fucking bad. So as everybody on this podcast should know by now, I love RuneScape. Love it. I want to do a series. So I'm a veteran to the game, right? I'm not that great at the game, but I'm a veteran to it. All my game knowledge fits very well into RuneScape because I know so much about the game. Cyborg is familiar with RuneScape, but he's not.
Old RuneScape. So.
Yeah, but he's not seasoned in the way of things. So what I want to do is I want to do a series like I don't know what we'd call it, noob and experience or some shit like that.
Noob versus pro.
Yeah, something like that, where we take 1 month, where me and Cyborg will pick up a membership, make new accounts, and it'll just be me and him playing through it solo, independent of one another for the most part, and it'll just show you like my point of view, my train of thought, how I do things, versus Cyborg's train of thought and how he does things. And then at the end of the month, it'll be the series will end, and it'll be kind of like a comparison of like his whole story versus my whole story. We could look up like the time. And what's really interesting about this now is that there's mobile. So RuneScape's a game that takes a lot of time for very little content, and now that it's on mobile, it just makes it so much easier. You go and take a shit, you can cut down 50 trees
still be hitting them trees or
so like it would be such an, I don't want to say easy game, but it'd be such a fun thing to do. And then it would kind of get him into my world a little bit, and then at the end of it, who knows, it might lead to a different series or whatever. But
we should do that. We could definitely do the same thing on the end of the spectrum months later with WoW.
Dude, I'm
very versed in WoW.
I would 100% be down. Classic WoW, right?
Well, we could do classic, yeah.
I would want to do classic because that's just what I hear everything.
You can play the new one, but I mean it still starts the same. Classic WoW just.
But you haven't played the new one.
Took out. Yeah.
Right. So it wouldn't be like you wouldn't be experienced. Old school RuneScape, I'm experienced because I played, right? Like if we played RuneScape 3, it would be noob and noob.
70 is what I consider like. 60 is technically classic, but
yeah, dude, I'd be dude, I would be 100% down for that.
Yeah.
A month
we should work trying to do a RuneScape one, and then see how that goes.
Well, the RuneScape one I think would be easy.
Yeah.
The question is how do we record that? Is it one series? Well, I mean, it would be one series, but how do we do two different perspectives doing two different things? That would be the hard part.
It would be interesting. I mean,
because then you have to decide what you feel is video worthy, and then I have to decide. Like for you, every 5 levels would be like, dude, I got this item from a goblin. And then like for me, it would be like every 300 levels.
I slayed 50 dragons.
Like, dude, it would be such an incredible fucking series. And it would be a series that y'all wouldn't see until months later. Because how I would want to do it is us play through that whole fucking month.
Yeah.
Get all that footage.
Do it out.
And then it would be like the Outlast and Layers of Fear, where once we had everything rendered, finished, then we'd start uploading. It would be incredible. Dude, I would love it so much, man.
Well, we need to pick a month and we need to prepare.
Right now. In the podcast. Go now.
October.
Dude, that's so far away. Fuck that. I don't want to wait that long.
Some time to prepare.
You don't need to prepare. You didn't buy anything on the summer sale, you fuck. Dude, we are at an extreme, because if we wait until October, then it wouldn't go live until like December. Versus if we did it now, it would go live in October. Yeah, dude,
I just got 2 other months, October and September, or I mean August and September. So
we'll talk about this after. We got to come up with the name first. We gotta come up with the name, do a rebrand, figure out how we're gonna record it.
Yeah.
Oh man, so excited. Fuck. Okay. Well, I guess back to Steam Summer Sale. I picked up another game, My Friend Pedro, another 2D platformer, and this one is fucking dope. It is like, I don't know if you're playing like a vigilante, like killing drug dealers or what, but you're just running through with 2 handguns and you can like do flips and shit and going slow. It's like a John Wick simulator, and your best friend's a banana.
John Wick, your best.
It's so fucking weird, but it's dope as hell, dude. It is so much fun. We didn't pick it up on the summer sale, but we did play some Risk of Rain 2 yesterday. They came out with a new update. With James. I want to get James on the podcast, guys.
Shout out to James out there.
Yes, shout out to James. He is one of my childhood friends.
Oh, what?
Dude. I don't know if I mentioned this on podcast. So I have a friend named James. He helps a lot behind the scenes with, like, if we do Minecraft, he'll be the one that creates the servers, things like that. Great guy. Love James to death. I love him like a little brother. So just know when I'm picking on him, it's coming from a good place. I have been playing with James since like Halo 2. So forever, as long as I can remember. And I had played with thousands of people over the years. Hundreds of thousands of people if you count just randoms online. I have never met somebody as bad at video games as James. Not just like Call of Duty or every game in the world. It is so fucking confused. I do not understand.
Well, we talked about this because he's super smart. Like, he knows everything about computers, and
this is what throws me off. Computer geek. He loves PCs. He loves tearing them apart, putting them together, programs, in and out of computers. He spends all the time on computers. He knows a keyboard in and out, right? When he plays a game on PC, he forgets where keys are on a keyboard. take the game off, tell him to type out an essay. He's just...
Yeah, he probably type 180 words a minute or something crazy, like 5.
But when he's playing a game, he can't figure out where E is. It is the most... Cyborg experienced this. Like, I used to talk about James as Cyborg before Cyborg really met him, and he always thought I was bullshitting. You would think by now he would take me serious when I tell him games are great or nothing, but no. He always thought I was bullshitting. Then he started playing with James, and he realized...
I think my first realization, because doesn't he have Rust?
Yeah. Your first realization was nodes.
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't play Rust, there's nodes, rocks on the map, and they look different for different materials. So there's metal frags, sulfur, and stone. They all look different from one another, and then they look different from like environment rocks that don't do anything for you.
So they stand out. They're like by themselves alone. That's why they call it a node. It looks like just a little, rock sitting on the path. And
James cannot figure out it. You know what it is? It's like I was saying this yesterday. He turns his brain off, and it's like he doesn't hold on to information. See, like when I play games, I catch on to stuff so quick, like way quicker than most. And I figured this out a long time ago, especially like playing with Cyborg, Triston, anybody really. Like when we're playing a game, I will pick up on things. I call it game sense. Like I have a very high level of game sense. I don't know if it's because I watched a ton of games, if I have a high IQ, what it is. But I am able to pick up on things at a remarkably quick and high level pace and catch up on things. And like I can watch a trailer and know so much about a game that 90% of people miss.
Most of the games that I play with you are like just kind of piggybacking, watching you figure it out, especially if it's like a multiplayer. You're like, oh, you can do this. I'm like, oh, sweet, cool, because I would have never fucking figured that out.
Like when I play...
James wouldn't be able to figure out the start button.
No. Like when I play game, I hate to talk about myself. I hate it. It feels like wrong. But when I play games, I'm typically always like the strat caller. Yeah. Like I'm always the leader, for better or for worse. Like
you said, game sense. I mean,
yeah.
You think about those things.
And people here
play a lot more games.
Well, I definitely play a lot more games than most people. But like, I feel like people hear like me talk about game sense and they're like, oh, well, anybody can have that. To a certain degree, yes. But there are some people.
Game sense, but I think there's also a really high portion of that is common sense that you have outside of games as well.
Well, I think it's. Well, thank you. No, it's like. No, I don't think anybody can have game sense. I think well, I guess it depends on how you define game sense.
Like
but there's like.
Game sense though.
Yeah, definitely. Like there's like. Strat caller game sense that not everybody can have, and then there's just like you have an understanding. Like Butcher.
Yeah.
There's a guy named Butcher. He's a younger gentleman that we've been playing Rust with forever. He has way more hours than me, but he can never be the leader of the group. He just doesn't have the game sense to do that. He can't break down a problem, and
he knows how to play. He knows how to PvP. He knows how to,
follow orders,
little things here and there. But as far as like, which way to go, or when not to do, or when to do, or how to do, or to prepare, or just those little things like. And everybody has their certain things they're good at.
The way I would explain it,
good at it is one thing.
Is like when you look at Rust, it's a very basic game. Like if you just look at it from the outside. Yeah. But like let's take a map for it. Everybody knows what a map looks like. Any video game, whatever. Okay, Rust, the whole thing, it's a PvP game. I don't care what anybody says. It's a PvP game. You build a base and you got to fortify that base because other people are trying to break into that base and take all your shit. That's the whole game.
That's it.
And it's just about being top of the food chain and fending off from other players. So, you got to be able to look at this map, see the layout. Every wipe, it changes, right? So you got to be able to look at the layout, look where everything's located, and figure out, okay, I want to build a base here.
I want to put myself into the action.
And that is one of the most important things you can do. And some people, James, could never do that. Like, he could never figure. Most people, believe it or not, can't. Like, just be able to look at a map and be like, all right, that's where you need to put the base. And then putting it there and then realizing, like, Cyborg knows this a lot. We do this. I do this a lot on wipes. I'll build a base, put it there, and very early on, I'll be like, all right, guys, we got to move. This is not going to work out for the long term. And 9 times out of 10, it's a good call.
It's a good call.
The call, it just, I'm able to, what I'm trying to say is I'm able to, like, just see the writing on the wall when it comes to video games. I'm able to pick up on stuff. I really, you know, I thought I was losing this ability until I watched you and Triston break down E3, and I was like, y'all fuckers are missing. Okay. Anyways, so James is like the opposite of this. He like doesn't pick up on anything, and I do not understand because he's played a fuck ton of games with me over the years, and he hasn't. So, example, last night we were playing Risk of Rain 2. Time to go full circle. And there's this so we were playing for a while, maybe an hour and a half.
We were probably almost 2 hours in at that point.
Just kicking ass. James died a few times. Whatever. We'll get to the end of game stats. But anyways, you get to, so there's a point where, like, once you get so far in the game, they throw up this portal, and you can go through this portal, and you can sacrifice yourself. And it basically kills you, ends the game, and it'll unlock this character. Me and Cyborg already had the character, so we're like, fuck it, we'll go through the portal and get James the character. And literally, you spawn on a platform down here. There's platforms going down, and you just jump down. I've never not made one of those jumps ever in my life. Keep in mind, Risk of Rain, the movement's very exaggerated, but you unlock perks
all the time.
Yeah, but you unlock perks that aid your movement and make you into like this crazy superhero type character, and they just stack. Perks stack. So by the end of the game, you're fucking OP as shit, which is what we were. End of the game, 2 hours. That's in game. OP as shit. All these perks and abilities are stacked upon each other, so your character's nuts. So it makes it even more like, if you didn't have any upgrades, you can make this jump very easily. We have all the upgrades, and I shit you not, me and Cyborg waited on James for 30 minutes,
close to it,
trying to make these jumps. It's not really even jumps. Really, all you do is fall. Like, it was.
Here's what I was saying, and this comes back to that sense, you know, like, I still don't think after that almost 2 hours that he had a full grasp on the movement and jumping mechanics of the game.
Could not agree.
Like, and I mean, that's a huge part of the game for me. Like, I'm fucking bouncing off the walls and...
Oh, movement in that game is key. That's what keeps you alive. The movement.
So,
yeah.
like, just seeing the way he, like, approached it, he was, like, you know, like, looking down and, like, jumping and then, like, turning around in midair and, like, trying to land on it. It's like, just jump. You know, like, just jump here, jump there, jump here. Like,
and for those of you that don't know, Risk of Rain 2 is not a complicated game. It's very straightforward. Like, it throws you in, no tutorial, no direction at all, which can be a little disorienting. Especially when me and Cyborg first played, it took like maybe 30-40 minutes to really get an idea, and then it took a little longer to pick up on like perks, stack, things like that, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing though, he wasn't solo. Me and Cyborg spilled the beans right away.
Yeah.
The game's pretty straightforward. For those of you that don't know what Risk of Rain 2 is, you spawn on a map, waves of enemies keep coming. You kill those enemies. When you kill those enemies, you get coins. There's chests scattered around the map. You open the chest with the coins that you obtain, and it pops out a perk. You pick the perk up. You go on with your day. And the perk is an automatic ability that's applied to you, and you just keep doing that. It makes you stronger, and you just and you just keep doing. You can't and that's the only upgrade you get are these perks. Each character has their own special abilities, and you can't change those throughout the game. So all you get are these perks, and you just keep doing that until y'all lose, or in this case, we sacrifice ourselves. And that's what you keep doing until whenever you lose the game. Very straightforward concept. All you do is shoot enemies and open chests. That's all you do. Very simple. James couldn't figure that part out.
Yeah.
In the movement, like, I wish I was recording so y'all could see how, so me and Cyborg instantly got to the bottom of this thing, and we're waiting on James. And he falls a few times. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Get the benefit.
And then 30 minutes later comes, and this thing is meant to go down. Me and Cyborg were going up and down. And James just kept dude, when I tell y'all, it is almost harder to fall off of these platforms than it is to get to the bottom of it. It is crazy. Like, dude, it was driving me. Cyborg, I was getting so fucking frustrated.
He will. And I think, like I said, James has a grasp on that game, and he understands some of the parts and pieces. And you know,
I don't think he does.
I think he's got the basics.
After the in-game stats that we...
Well, yeah, that, and picking up perks that were just sitting there.
Oh my god,
running around. I guess.
And we told him too.
Yeah, but I guess he didn't realize all the perks stacked. So like he would unlock the chest,
even though we
and
told
he'd
him
see it, and he'd be like, "Oh, I already got that one," and he'd just walk off. And then I'd come around the corner. And be
so
like,
for those of you,
fucking perk.
Okay, well, let's explain what happens. You open a chest, a perk comes flying out, lands on the ground. You get near it, you pick it up. Yeah. Simple, right? Except James would open the chest, it would fly on the ground, and then he'd run off. And just leave the perk there. Which means you're not getting any use. You just wasted it. Or he would just like, he kept saying like, oh, I have so much money. I have this much money. Da-da-da-da-da. Keep in mind, after each, like, so you go to like different maps. Once you complete the map, you go to the next map. Once you go to the next map, you lose all the money from the previous map. So you use it or lose it. Yep. James was talking about how he had all this money, but he would run past all these chests. It was... Anyways, long story short, 30 minutes later, James makes it down the easiest...
Long story short, game sense.
Yeah. Well, James makes it down this... I'm not even going to call it a jump puzzle. James... It's basically a slip and slide. James made it down the slip and slide. Come to find out, so... You get to the bottom, there's a shrine. You go to the shrine, suicide, right? And then there's a portal. I was under the impression that James would suicide himself, unlike the new character. Me and Cyborg would go through the portal.
Bing, bang,
one of us is still alive. We continue to play. It's not what happened. James sacrificed himself, which sacrificed all of us, ended the game. Wish I would have known that would have happened. Would have saved all of us 30 minutes.
A long time ago.
And then, once the game finishes, you get to like an end screen that gives you all your stats for that round. Tells you how many kills you got, da-da-da-da. I had over 900. Cyborg had over 800. James had like 100 kills.
Yeah, I think he had like 130 or something.
And then we were like, okay, how much damage did you have? Maybe we were just finishing off in... No. He had like no damage either.
I want to say he had like 30,000 or something, and like mine was pretty low. Mine was like 1.6 million, but yours.
I had over 3. Yeah, I had over 3 million damage. James had like 50,000, something crazy low, and we're just like, how, dude? How, bro? That's the whole point of the game. Are you just like? Which brings me to, maybe he knows something we don't. How did he get so much fucking money all the time without killing it? It was fucking crazy. Anyways, I want James to come on the podcast because I have a million stories like this, and I want to hear it from him and be able to look him in his eyes. We need to dissect this. He might be like the first guest on when we revamp. Yeah, because like I said, I've known James. James
is a good guy. I mean,
dude, I love him like a brother. I would fucking kill somebody for James.
Yeah, he loves gaming. I mean, he loves playing, with people, with friends. So
he's an interesting cat. He's a nerdy style.
I will say that like as far as like we were talking about Butcher, who we've talked about before on here. As far as enjoyable to play with and doesn't cross lines, I think James has got that okay. Butcher though.
No, look, besides James's game sense, like I said, I've known him. He was my first real friend when I moved to the city, right? Grew up in the country, moved here, didn't know anybody. They were my first. Him and his brother were my first friend. His brother's a character, love him. And then James is a character too. They're just really nice people, really good, really laid back. Great friend. Like I said, love him like a brother. Don't talk to him as much as I used to because of life. Everybody's growing up or whatever. But dude. And we'll have him on the podcast. I will make sure. I will give him my old webcam just so I can get him on the podcast.
Take this.
Because
bless us with your fucking face.
Dude, he might even be a regular, dude. I would love to have him.
I would like to pick that motherfucker's brain.
Dude, I'm telling, cause guys, he's a smart kid. He's very nerdy and innocent and almost a little awkward at times, right? But he's fucking hilarious in all the wrong ways. He is so it's great.
That's a great way to explain it.
Yeah, I promise you guys, next episode I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna figure out what day James is off.
Try and get him on here.
I was gonna say I'll call him right now, but it's 1 a.m. Dude, it's fucking 1 a.m. I gotta be up at 5 a.m. for work.
Oh shit, you do have work.
I do. I don't give a fuck though. I don't.
Priorities.
Yeah. Priorities, right? Talking shit about James. But no, priority. I fucking, like I said, I fucking love James to death. He's like a little brother to me, which is why I feel like I have the right to pick on him a little bit. I'm sure he'll pick on me. He is just very.
He's just I don't know, man. He's just a really good guy.
Super aggravating to play with because he just. James is not a person I can play competitive games with, period. I will get so bad. I get aggravated with Cyborg, man, and Triston, and they're very competent and very great teammates. And it's not lack of trying, it's just for whatever reason, James, his brain just powers down.
He enjoys games.
He does.
He
enjoys doesn't
a lot more. Then I think he should.
Dude, I gotta give him props. James has always sucked at video games, and he's always enjoyed them.
Always enjoyed and played them.
I could not imagine sucking at a video game as much as James, and Because normal people, you play a game, you suck at it, you see progress. It's not how James is. He sucks at a game and he stays that way. And he loves it. And he just keeps playing. COD is a perfect example. We played COD for many years. He never got better. I remember everybody used to come over to my house and we'd play split screen and stuff. Or actually, hold on, this was much later. This was when everybody had Xbox Live. So we used to go Modern Warfare 2, we'd do private matches, and we had a little tournament. And I went up against, and this was back when I was in my prime. I wanted to be a pro. I was playing 18 hours a day. I was a fucking god back then. So, wasn't a whole lot James could do. Now, I knew I was going up against James. I used knife only. 25 kill streak and nuked his ass and ended the game. And that was how James is. Still to this day, I bet I could do it.
And he'd enjoy it. He'd have a good time.
Takes it like a fuck, dude. He takes it like a champ.
Yeah, but he's
but with that being said, there's some games that James can never play. He has Tarkov. That is a game he can never play.
He does have Tarkov?
You know, I feel bad, but I talked him into buying it. James is like one of my best friends, right? So obviously I want him to get games with me to play, and I find myself talking him into buying games that I know he has no business. Tarkov was one of them. He has no business being near Rust in a lot of ways is one of them.
Yeah, I think Rust was a pretty long stretch.
I will say I didn't talk him into Rust. I told him how much I love Rust.
Played a lot of Rust.
Yeah, and he wanted to buy it. I forewarned him way ahead of time. Rust is a game, James, that I will cuss you out so quickly. Out of love, of course.
Out of love for Sulfur and Rock.
Because James is the type of person to leave like every door open in the base and be like, I don't know how we got raided.
Like, guys, all our doors are here, but there's nothing's left.
So yeah, no, I'm gonna have James on the podcast. Yeah, it is gonna be. Oh, I'm gonna get my people to contact his people, and we're gonna make it happen, guys. Y'all need to meet fucking James and his fucking guinea pigs. He has guinea pigs. He'll probably, yeah. It'll be a ton of fun, man. I am excited about the future of this channel.
Oh, as always, I think, and we've talked about this before. Change is always a good thing. You always got to grow. You always got to get better. And this 14 episodes, I guess now. Was it? It's 14 episodes.
Did you just kiss me, dude?
I gave you a nice sensual tongue lick. It just you know, we grew. We figured out what, you know, how to put some stuff together.
Yeah.
And
we're learning
what works, what doesn't work. I think we got a lot out of this little stretch here, and I think we'll use that to push this next revamp for sure. Yeah,
until we decide we hate that name. And I don't know.
We could just change names
every month. Sitting Ducks to the new one to the, you know, whatever. No, but before we get off, before we wrap things up, got two games left that I bought.
Oh shit!
I bought Mountain Blade Warband, which, do you know this game? It's a super old game. Overwhelmingly apparently, it's like you build an army and just fuck shit up and just slowly take over regions and become a god. Apparently, I don't know. Haven't played it. Downloaded it. Went to play it today. Mount and Blade Warband.
Oh, Mountain Blade. Okay.
It has incredible reviews, and what's unique about the reviews is look at them, and people have like 13,000 hours. Like, everybody has a ridiculous amount of hours in this game. Plus, it has incredible reviews. So that's what really I was like, dude, I gotta buy it. It's an older game.
They have a to be announced Mountain Blade 2.
Yeah, they have a new one coming out, which is why I wanted to buy this one. It's an older game. Graphics aren't that great. Animations aren't that great. I went to play it today, and it crashed. So I haven't played it yet. But I will. It is on the back burner. I want to play it. I have 2 minutes in it, so.
These are those style of games.
What?
Always medieval.
Oh, yeah.
We've talked about that before.
Yeah. And the last game I picked up, another game that I fucking love. I picked up Totally Accurate Battle Simulator.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
This is where my game sense has came in, because they have like a tutorial. Well, it's not really a tutorial. They have an introduction of like 20 levels of varying difficulty where they take you through every. I didn't lose a single fucking round in any of these. Beat them all the first fucking try. And they don't like break down what each character does or anything. They just give you a list of characters and you gotta go and figure out what. Dude, I'm a fucking war commander. But anyways, this game's fucking fun, dude. You build the physics are real goofy, but anyways, the way it works is you have an enemy team of whatever layout with whatever characters, and then you have a certain amount of points, and then you have characters to pick from. Each character has a different point, and then you got to build your own army. The armies collide, face off. Whichever army is left standing at the end wins. So, but you can also take control of the characters.
Yeah.
Which sounds like it'd be an easy win, except the physics are still horrible. It is so fucking stupid and goofy. But anyways, the game's fucking incredible. It is so fun. Like, I was fucking around in Sandbox and literally might have caught my computer on fire. Like, just 10,000 versus 10,000 mammoths, just fucking chaos. It is so much fun, dude. It is such a stupid, it is just one of those games, dude, where you just relax, unwind.
Goofy and fun.
It is so much fucking fun. And with that being said, we're gonna wrap up this podcast with the only way I know how, which is the Hunter Call of the Wild came out with a new map that I bought.
Look at that.
The Yukon Valley, I talked about it. It's actually been out a little bit. I bought it on the Steam sale for like $1.50. I haven't played it yet. Me and Cyborg kind of burnt ourselves out playing the game.
It's only $7.99. I can get on with that.
Yeah, all the DLCs for the Hunter Call of the Wild are super fucking cheap. The new map looks incredible, but what's cool, mentioning True Racks here, the next animal is gonna be moose, which they showed a stream Tuesday. They streamed, which was yesterday. They streamed a preview of them, Cyborg.
Really?
They look incredible. They look so.
I hope they look better than their.
You know what's crazy?
Elk or whatever.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is they found a diamond. They found a diamond moose in the stream. Looked fucking amazing, dude. So fucking incredible. And what's unique about the moose, for those of you that don't know, that haven't played it, there's moose on 3 different maps. So you got the moose on this new map that came out, Yukon. You got the moose on Hirschfelden, which is like a Siberian map, and then you got the moose on Leighton Lake, which is a map that me and Cyborg played. Once they add the moose, that'll mean every antlered species on Leighton Lake is True Rack, which is fucking amazing. Which is what me and Cyborg want, so we can go through and play that. Because for those of you that don't know, me and Cyborg, when they first released True Racks, me and Cyborg were super excited for it. Played the fuck out of the Hunter Call of the Wild. Recorded.
Had a couple good stuff happen. You know.
Made a fantastic video that I fucked up because my hard drive got full, which led me to buy another like 5 gigabyte hard drive, so I'll never have to worry about that again. But fucked up the whole video because of this. Cyborg got a diamond, I got a incredible video. Didn't work out, and we've never been able to replicate that since we tried. It has just been like failure after failure, whether technical or whether we just didn't find true. And at the time, it was only the deer species that had True Racks, so elk and all of them didn't. So it was like we would find them, but elk or moose, and none of those were True Racks, so it defeats the point of the video. Well, now that everything has True Racks, it'll be a good time to hop in and play it, and the hunt for True Rack will be so much easier. It'll be such a better experience.
Yeah.
In such an easier time, because I have like 7 thumbnails made of different hunting videos that we planned out that didn't work out because of this fucking True Rack video. We have like a duck hunting one, we have the True Rack one, we had one with like primitive bows. Like, we have all these different videos planned out for the Hunter Call of the Wild, because it's an extremely fun game, extremely laid back. It's a game like I've said in the past, I like to make videos about like a story more so than like the Human Fall Flat, where it was just us fucking around, right? Like Tarkov, you had like these mini stories. The Hunter Call of the Wild, like the videos that we had made were like these crazy scenarios, stories, these epic hunts where we would see something and it'd be a stalk, missed opportunity or a bad shot, and then we'd have to stalk again, and just at the brink where we think,
stumble across,
just these crazy things. Or like this one moment where we're in this open field, it's real foggy. I'm like, all right, Cyborg, wait here. I'm gonna crawl a mile through this open field so I can get close enough to shoot this deer with a pistol, and it'd be like Cyborg just watching it, and just be like this epic shit. Nothing happened. So that being said, when they add true rack moose, me and Cyborg, and we're gonna have like tree stand and tripods that got added. There's a lot of shit that's been added, new guns, so there'll be a lot of stuff that we can play around with. It'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, so
I'm looking forward to that for sure.
Wouldn't be a podcast episode without me mentioning true racks of dinosaurs.
No, of course not. And you might as well christen that off.
Well, we fucked up and said Jurassic Park at the beginning of the podcast, so that kind of covers that.
Dinosaurs and true rack.
What? You spoiled it. That's the new name of the podcast. True rack dinosaurs. That's what we're rebranding. That's gonna be the thumbnail. That's what I'm so excited to show everybody. It's gonna be a fucking
and a deer rack.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a fucking T-Rex with a giant set of antlers.
There you go. That's what Brian needs.
They need to put that on a T-shirt. I'd wear that, bro. Somebody make it. I'll buy it.
Somebody make it. T-shirts.
I'm gonna buy it for everybody in this fucking house. Give me a fucking comforter set. I want it.
Oh, and you know, I know we didn't mention it, but a Rust video. I'd like to get working on one of those too.
Yeah. Again, it kind of goes back to like the Minecraft and RuneScape series. Problem with Rust, again, with Triston stepping out of the equation, it changes the dynamic, because a lot of the video ideas we had planned was with Triston in mind. But with Rust, it's another thing like me and Cyborg have talked about. We definitely want to make a Rust video. Like, Rust is by far my favorite real PC game of all time, with the exception of RuneScape. Like, talking about Steam, I have the most hours on it. Love the game. Phenomenal game. And that's a game that promotes stories. Every wipe's a different story. And me and Cyborg's wipes are only 3 days, so it's easy to
get a quick solid.
And we've been playing so much that pretty much every wipe we're able to make something happen. We're hardly ever in a wipe that we're just getting the shit kicked out of us. With that being said, it's not going to be the best PvP content ever.
I think we could make something happen.
Oh, dude, they're going to see my AK spray. Oh, dude, I'm not worried about, like, I can kill people, I can outsmart people, make plays. They're gonna make fun of my recoil control, because it is ass.
Control.
Yeah, well, both the bars. We're gonna have to put like a fucking warning at the beginning.
You're gonna look at the video and be like, "What the fuck are you shooting at?"
Like the Tarkov one.
Yeah. Yep.
But no, I 100% agree. There's so many videos that me and Cyborg want to make. The problem is, for one, well, it's not a problem. I love editing, but I'm like editing. I'm doing everything myself. So it's a one-man show from that point of view. But it's just about coming up with the idea and then the execution. And for something like Rust, it's very difficult to come up with an idea because it's so unpredictable. So for Rust, really, it's just playing. But I think the hard part about Rust is recording. Because you just never know when something's going to happen. So you really want to be recording the whole time. But then
you're talking about
you got
hours.
70 hours of footage or whatever that you have to upload to Dropbox. Like, oh my god, we need to get a server or something, man. I could talk to James about that. Anyways,
all right, yeah,
we have a ton. There's a ton of like single videos we want to make, that have been on the channel that you're already accustomed to. Tarkov video, the human fall flat, those are like one-off videos that are independent videos that won't, but we want to create like badass series that leave you coming back episode after episode. And we're not talking about like our Let's Plays and playthroughs.
Right.
Like those are great, and we're still gonna do those. Like I said, Cyborg will do Inside, and you know, as different games come out, we'll kind of play through them and do that. But we want to make like dope Minecraft series, dope RuneScape series, like all these random game series that leave people wanting to come back over and over again. Oh, Mortal.
Oh yeah,
that'll be our next one-off video.
Yeah.
We'll probably knock that out this weekend or something.
3 or 4.
Yeah, we will knock a 1v1 Mortal video. I already have in my mind how I want it. It's gonna be fire, dude.
We're gonna edit our guys.
Huh? Oh yeah, dude. We should.
We're gonna have to pick like a set of guys to run with.
Yeah, no,
I have to give Ragnar a helmet. Fucker keeps getting his head chopped off.
Dude, I wish we were recording that day. Dude, it would have been such an epic video. Me and Cyborg just got on kind of relaxing after he got all moved in. We were 1v1ing in Mortal. And we're having a grand old time just 1v1ing back and forth. Funny shit's happening, crazy shit's happening. And then somebody joins the server. It wasn't our own server. It was just some random server that had no pop, late as fucking night. So
I don't know what this guy was doing.
So nobody was like bothering us for a good hour or so. And then this guy joined. And he had to have been a pro. I honestly think he played Mortal in VR or something, the way he was moving his character. And fucking us in the ass.
I killed him once.
Yeah, I did too. I killed him once or twice. To the 50 times he killed me. It was it got to the point where Cyborg used some weapon he didn't like, and he picked it up and proceeded to fuck us with that weapon for the next 30 minutes over and over and over and over again. It was horrible. Wish I was recording. It would have been a great way. Like up, down, we killed him. A great way to end the video. Anyways, Mortal. There's so many fucking games that we want to play. Obviously, let us know if y'all have any suggestions. Dude, I kind of want to bring James in and make a video with him.
Yeah, we could.
James, 100% James will be on the next podcast. We still got Big Crafter. Don't want to forget about him.
He's in the back there.
I will say this. Uploads might be a little up and down in the coming weeks. Well, not weeks. In the coming week or two. Not because we're not doing anything. Well, I guess I should say podcast. Normal upload should stay the same. But as far as podcasts are concerned, because I want to do this revamp and I want episode 15 to be the new and improved YouTube channel. I've already changed the name on all of our social medias, so they are all in place and good to go. It is just
this channel.
It is just this channel that needs to, and I don't want to change the YouTube channel name yet until I get all the graphics situated and everything.
Drop it out at the same time you drop the video.
And I want to make like a dope trailer to go along with it to talk about. Oh man, guys, some big things are coming. I'm super excited. Bill Gates is investing in the company, and no, but big things are coming. Lots of cool videos are on the way.
Where's the gaming lounge? What Bill buy us?
Yeah, what do we need to do to get a fucking brick and mortar location?
Yeah.
For me and Cyborg.
None
of this internet bullshit. Dude, I'd happily move to Colorado and get out of this fucking heat.
Oof, I tell you, I don't miss it. Don't.
What's the weather like for you today, roughly?
It got up into the high 80s, but I mean it's wind. You know, there's no humidity. You wanna know what it is right now?
Sure.
It's 67 degrees.
Alexa, what's the weather?
Right now in Garland, it's 79 degrees Fahrenheit.
79? At 1 a.m.
With a high of 95 degrees and a low of 72 degrees.
I do not miss those 90.
The heat index today, not today, but I guess yesterday was 108. So, you know, there's that. Dude, let's see, I got off work Monday and I went to Dairy Queen to buy an ice cream. Had the AC blaring in the car and it still melted quicker than I could eat it. That's how fucking hot it is, dude.
Miserable.
So I would happily move to Colorado if somebody wants to hook us up with the office space.
We'll get that office space working.
Salary and whatever. I don't even need a salary. I can be homeless. I'll live in the office.
I'll live in the office. There you go.
Dude, it's fucking 1:30. I gotta be up at 5 a.m. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Dude, I didn't expect this to be 2 hours. Holy shit.
If you're still here after 2 hours, real MVP.
You are the real fucking MVP. Yeah, let us know about the 50 questions. I don't even remember what all I've asked throughout this podcast. But let me know in the comment section what you think about the 10 billion different fucking games, walkthroughs, fucking video ideas, rebrand idea, Triston's farewell. The list goes on.
Hashtag fuck Triston.
If you have hashtag fuck Triston. If you have, that's gonna be in the rebrand somewhere hidden. If you haven't already, please go check out Cyborg's playthrough on Outlast.
Oh yeah.
And my playthrough on Layers of Fear 2.
Try not to promote that too much because I definitely look like a bitch.
And I got a secret video coming.
Oh god.
Get back at Cyborg for some of the shit he's been talking.
Yeah. Somebody's gotta keep your ass in line.
Oh, we'll see who's in line after this video goes out. It's gonna be a fun. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. Love all of y'all's beautiful faces. Another podcast down the drain. Episode 14, episode 15. Hopefully, be a whole new look.
New look, same ugly faces.
Well, we'll have James here. There'll be a new ugly face.
Just add another ugly face. There you go.
You haven't seen James, have you? So this will be the first time.
Never.
He looks about the way he plays, let me tell you. I love you, James. I love you, James.
That's been a more true statement, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
Man.
Thanks for watching. We will see y'all whenever we get everything situated with the channel. Last time you will see us as the Sitting Ducks. Moving forward, we're taking it out back and putting her down.
Putting her down.
Moving forward, we'll be known as something different. So we're excited to announce on the next podcast. Thanks for watching, guys.
Alrighty, y'all.
We will see y'all when we see y'all. Goodbye.